Yo, yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 193. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
The Spider-Man is having you for dinner tonight.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Brett Murdoch.
What's up, everybody?
Adam Vale.
You see what you get when you mess with the orphans?
And Brian Manjoma.
Rest in peace, Gravity Rush 2 servers.
Oh, what? I didn't know that.
They closed them down. Yep.
Excuse me? Damn.
It just came out.
It came out last year, so they just
What the hell? That was...
Well, that's what happens when you tack on a multiplayer component to a game that doesn't need it, you know?
Wait, Gravity Rush 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. That had multiplayer?
You see?
Yeah, Mario was talking about it.
It didn't necessarily have a multiplayer. It really just had, like, you could offer challenges to other people and stuff like that, but really it wasn't really that much of it. It was more like a challenge mode. You can take, like, if you could take pictures in one places, and also the treasure, like you can get like these different treasure challenges from other players, but it really didn't need those things, and you didn't need to do them. And in fact, the way they've adjusted the game, where it's like, okay, so they turned those things off. There is a trophy a couple trophies that you can get for doing that sort of stuff, but they already kind of essentially retroactively fixed it, where you don't need to do any some of that stuff. So you can get all the trophies if you ever needed to.
By the way, Carlos, that was my reaction when I heard that Saints Row had multiplayer. I'm like, it had multiplayer? What?
It's not really a multiplayer. It's more like an online scoreboard and like challenges that you can get from other players. But other than that, that's all you got.
Yeah, go ahead, Brett.
I forgot what I was saying.
Oh, well, what are you going to do? All right, and another one of these weeks. Actually, some stuff happened. It just wasn't, like, crazy, but, you know, stuff. What's going on, Mel and Matt? So first, I want to give a shout-out to Lil Tussin. It's funny, I was thinking about this dude the other day. Like, Manny, we met this guy in L.A., like,
yeah,
you know, when we went to our first E3. And what's funny was, like, that was the first time we all met him. And Torrance was like, you know, because he's a tall dude. And he's like, man, you ain't Lil Tussin, you Big Tussin. It was hilarious.
Where's he been hiding?
I don't know, but he hit us up in the comment section of the last episode. I believe it was the Throw On Your Questions episode 192, and he was like, he's just been away for a while, but now he's coming back. But apparently he's still been listening to the show this entire time, which is pretty cool. He just hasn't commented, but yeah, he says he's just been out of the loop when it comes to gaming news, and I guess since he listens to us, that's one of his ways to, you know, listen to it. But yeah,
get a little catch up. And
he said, you know, he would hopefully like to be back on so he could do one of his epic rants. You remember those? Those were fucking awesome, you know, so definitely. And this is how far back we knew this guy. We used to record on fucking TeamSpeak.
Yes.
Because I was thinking, like, wait, how the fuck did we just have him drop in and out? Because it was TeamSpeak back in the day, you know?
We could easily just invite him on.
See, back in the dinosaur days of Throwdown, it was just audio, you know? It's interesting how, like, all the podcasts are, like, visual nowadays, you know? And we were also one of the first ones to do that, too, back in the day. People forget about that, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. But anyway, so we got some stuff to discuss here. There's also a couple of extra topics I may dive into depending on how fast we do things, thanks to Phantom Vash, as always, you know? Okay, so the first one, this one's just funny. Manny and I had a conversation about this a couple hours ago. So players have spent over $1 billion. $1 billion on Fortnite. That's a lot of money for a free-to-play game, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Ain't that about a bitch?
I'm disappointed in us.
Yeah. So whoever wants to take this, go. Yeah.
Well, it's a free-to-play game. So a lot of people like, at least, well, that aspect is the free-to-play, the one that everyone's playing, and you know, a little money here and there to get some cosmetics. People love cosmetics. So I guess they feel like, hey, I didn't pay really anything for it, so I can't really bitch. Okay, yeah, I'll pay this $2 here, $3 here, $4 here. It all starts adding up.
That's exactly what I said to Tony earlier. It's like it's just these little tiny transactions. You just go, hey, a little 99 cents here, a little this, all that, and you already spent maybe like $20. Let's say every single person in Fortnite spent $20 a month on stuff. How many players are on Fortnite right now?
Yeah, it's millions of them. I'll check out the exact numbers. It's a lot, tens of millions. Yeah.
Now, every single one of those tens of millions. Even if they just gave $1, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brad, you said you're disappointed in us, and I'm guessing us gamers.
Yeah, gamers in general.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I mean, it's I get it. It's your free content, everything like that. But a game like Fortnite, like it's selling you all the rewards, a la carte, and I always have a problem with that. Like, I'm really torn. I don't have a problem with cosmetic packs or extra visuals or things like that. And especially as the years go on, I've come to more realize that's a way to keep your artists busy. That's a way to not fire half of your staff, artists included. And being an artist, like, I like that. Thumbs up. So yeah, after the game comes out, sure, have them working on content, having them work on assets, having them working on custom things that you can then re-release. But Fortnite seems to do that just exclusively. Like, and somebody correct me here if I'm wrong. Do you actually unlock things through winning or game progression at all?
It's a good question. I don't know. Don't answer that. I don't know. Somebody in the chat could tell us that. I don't know. I honestly don't know, and I don't want to say one way or another. But I believe I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. I don't think anything like that exists in the game. I think you just buy everything. But I could be wrong. I want somebody to fill us in because nobody here plays that fucking game. You know?
Yeah.
Me and Carlos played that shit for 2 hours. We never playing that shit again. You know?
Yeah,
trash.
When you guys played, do you remember seeing like a level of some sort, like a character level?
No.
Chances are, if there's like a character level, then there's a strong chance that there's content locked behind that level.
No, I think there was a progression system of a sort.
Yeah, don't. We played 2 hours. I have no idea. I could be wrong. I don't know. Was there progression?
Well, let's take the time rather than speculate. Why don't we just take the time and look it up?
We got
the fans could answer us, motherfuckers. Wake up, niggas.
Yeah.
Some of the fans have played it.
We'll be waiting toward the end of the show. Then they'll be like, "Oh yeah,
damn, man, you trying to say nobody's playing this shit, man?"
No.
I'm looking it up right now, and it doesn't seem like it is. It seems like you can download free or like discounted to free outfits from PlayStation Store.
Now, to show how this sort of concerns me, because people are like, well, a lot of other games are going to do that, and that's true. A lot of other games will do it, but for example, like one of my favorite games, The Division, I keep playing. You get a lot of cosmetics. It's all about cosmetics, but a lot of stuff you get in the world, and then you can go with your in-game currency and stuff, and you could buy sets and stuff. But majority of your cosmetics you just find, and they also Ubisoft also gives you stuff. And my fear is that, especially with the new one coming and what they see with the transactions, with everybody wanting customization, that they're gonna nickel and dime. And those days of coming up to a bum, giving them a candy bar, and them giving you a scarf or a jacket or something, those are things of the past. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna be like, well, why are we having these NPCs to give them stuff when we can make money from that? Look what Fortnite's doing. Yeah, that's my concern, and we're going to see that happen in a lot more games that are big in customizing your character, right? And they're going to try to nickel and dime you.
Well,
wait, can I just make a very good point? Like, okay, what you're saying is true, Adam, and that's a big problem. But then, if that was the case, then we wouldn't be seeing what Shadow of War has just done, where they've actually removed the microtransactions because people were complaining that they were hurting the game. So I think
they removed the microtransactions.
Developers have to be very careful.
But that was for progression reasons, like right when you had to do the grind to those big monsters,
but then
or get the upgrades.
But then the idea was that the microtransactions that they had were hurting the game, so people complained that they were hurting the game, and hence they were removed. So I think that now developers are at the point where they realize, okay, if you want to put in microtransactions, then they have to be reasonable. Because if they're unreasonable, we get situations like Shadow of War and Star Wars, and no one wants to beat those games.
No, hold on, Brian. In fairness,
and it's not too profitable. So I think that now they are starting to understand that there's a fine line that they must tread.
Go ahead,
but it's not like they did this out of charity or goodwill. They did this because the game is fucking bombing, and 3 flash sales at half price haven't been able to make up for the fact that this thing is hemorrhaging money. This is not goodwill. This is them trying to get away with something way more than people are allowing, and people just didn't buy the game. It was a huge fucking failure. It hemorrhaged goddamn money, and now they're doing everything they can to be like, oh well, now we'll take the DLC out. We'll take out all the microtransactions in an effort to not have horrible losses on the game. This is not an example to hold up of how people should be acting, because they're just rocking back on their heels trying not to this thing with a loss.
It's an example of the fact that now developers understand that they can't be too unreasonable. So Adam's fear was that Ubisoft are going to go in and just like wreck the game because of microtransactions.
Yeah, you know what?
We've had examples where games have been just drawn through the mud because they've had microtransactions that were too harsh. So hence, I don't feel like Ubisoft are that dumb to go and say, hey, let's just have microtransactions that fuck up the game, because then they'll be on the same level as the Battlefront and Shadow War, and as you said, Brett, they'll be dragged through the mud. The sales will be down, and I'm sure that Ubisoft don't want that. What I'm just trying to say is Ubisoft.
But I can see that in the Black Ops.
These are examples of games that companies want to avoid doing in their own games. So hence, I see these examples as threats to their profit. And I don't think that Ubisoft are dumb enough to follow these as examples. So hence, I don't think that we'll get I don't think that we'll get microtransactions as bad as Battlefront and Shadow War, but there'll still be some microtransactions. So hence, I'm not too scared, because if Ubisoft are dumb enough to do so, then the profit margin will just be flawed and it'll just go down. So hence, they'll be hurting themselves. So hence why I'm not too fussed.
And therein lies the problem. We have gotten so complicit with people doing bad shit to us that we are content to say, I'm okay if you punch me in the face as long as you don't beat the shit out of me. And that is not an okay place to be. We cannot sit there and say, oh, it's going to be okay that they're going to mildly compromise the game and the experience, as long as they don't do it so much that enough people unify together and get angry about it. Like, it's still a bad practice. We as consumers still should be having a zero tolerance policy on this shit. But we've kind of migrated exactly what you just said, Brian. Like, as long as they don't do it as bad, they'll still be my favorite game company. As long as they hurt me less than the other guy, then they're still my favorite.
Hold on, just for the sake of clarity, what is the thing we need to rally against? I'm a little lost here.
Superfluous microtransactions.
Okay, what does that mean? Because
them making you buy the content, then them not giving you rewards to work for unless they're behind a ridiculously high wall. Like, you shouldn't have to put in $5 or 500 hours. You should be able to realistically obtain just about everything in the game in a normal playthrough. And I say just about. There could be those few hardcore items that everybody's going for, the super rares or anything like that, but a majority of the game content should be able to be unlocked in a reasonable amount of time with the game.
All right, because the reason I'm asking is because I want to know if you're just against microtransactions, period. Because that's a little extreme there.
All right. I'm not against microtransactions, period. I'm just against them basically making your rewards unrealistic and then saying, or you could just pay $2 to get it right now. Like, well, no, you should balance it. It should be realistic, and that's fine if you want to let somebody buy their way to the end of the game. They're just interfering with their own experience. But when you do that with multiplayer games especially, then you have a whole nother beast, because then you have, an issue of the Johnsons next door kind of thing, where everybody else is getting this shit that you're not necessarily getting. And cosmetics are one thing, but then it gets even worse and it gets into actual items. And this is where Battlefield really got fucked up, and Destiny too, though. But Destiny didn't have anybody pointing any of this shit out. They have algorithms in that game. Algorithms so that when you're fighting people, you are coming against people with better level gear in the kind of gun that you use, so that you have to be sniped to death by somebody with a sniper rifle 10 times better than you.
I don't Fortnite doesn't do that.
No, I was talking about Destiny at that point. But no, because Fortnite only gives you cosmetics. But again, I don't think that, if I remember correctly, in my limited time with Fortnite, there was a lot of stuff, as in a majority of the stuff that you couldn't get if you didn't buy it with real world money. The item shop for stuff with in-game currency and the item shop for stuff without in-game currency, or with your V-Bucks, which is your real world money, two completely different stores, and that's where I get upset. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah, but going back to Fortnite, I think it's just like what Manny was saying. It's like, people paying $1 here, $1 there, so they don't mind. You know what I'm saying? So that's why this game's, and it's the most popular game right now, so it's obviously going to make that much money. And you've seen how crazy people get for these skins and shit. They go wild. So
hey man, it's like PlayStation Home, but if you if you could actually do something in it.
Yeah.
You actually have a lot of people wanting to do it. My main thing is that I see it works for Fortnite, but the last thing I want is these big developers that are already charging $60 out of the box and then have to nickel and dime inside. That's what I'm worried about, and I hope they just don't do it. But I have a feeling that Call of Duty's going to do it. Now that they have the Battle Royale mode, they're going to try to do something like that with putting different skins on your weapons if you want that. The same thing goes for the little chains, because I don't know if you guys seen it, but now they have like these little dangly chains that you could have on your guns, little clovers and all kinds of weird little knickknacks, and people putting like flare and stuff like that on their weapons. And that's right now you can get those in loot boxes and stuff like that, end game stuff. You don't have to put real money if you don't want to. But I'm scared that, especially now that they'll have their own battle royale, that they're going to say, hey, well, this worked in that battle royale, we're going to do it too, and that's what I'm worried about. Because like, well, it's different. You guys you charge $60 out of the box for this Fortnite, at least for that mode you do. Was it the regular price is $30, right, for the default game of Fortnite?
No, Fortnite's free, dude.
No,
Yeah,
that mode is free.
Oh.
The battle royale mode, the normal game is $30.
Really?
I didn't know
battle
that.
royale is just a mode that came after.
I thought that was the whole game.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Oh,
This
game.
this shows how much I know about Fortnite.
When Fortnite first came out, there was a free-to-play version, early access, and then it went to the $30 price. And it just wasn't doing anything. Nobody really cared. And they said, don't worry, we got a Battle Royale mode coming. And then when that launched, that's when it set up on fire. People started playing that mode.
But for this specifically, the $1 billion it made wasn't from that.
That's
It was just
free. That's for the Battle Royale. People playing.
Yeah.
They're not playing the actual game.
nobody's playing the actual game. The actual game is a buildable construction tower defense game.
That's it.
I demoed the actual game before it had a battle royale mode. And then when they had the battle royale mode, I was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, but it's funny how the battle royale mode is the thing that's taken off.
And I think when you use when you have the actual game, you actually get unlockables and not the other version of it.
Well, you get those weird, what do they call, battle chests, whatever the hell it is that they give people now. You get that because you actually bought the game.
Yo, where are the fucking stands for this game in the chat? They don't exist right now. It's hilarious because we've gotten some heat from some dudes after the show's like, Fortnite is the greatest thing ever.
Well, dude, it's 9:30 my time. All the middle schoolers are in bed.
Oh, that's a fact.
Oh, they're playing GTA.
No, it's summertime. There's no kids going to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
What
true.
are they listening to our show right now? Maybe they will tomorrow.
They're playing Fortnite. That's what they're doing.
Oh my god. Anyway, let's move on here. All right, this is Brian's favorite story of the day. So some Spider-Man news came out. And by the way, just a little asterisk. Under normal circumstances, we probably wouldn't talk about this. This isn't really big news. But since it's fucking slow, we're going to talk about it. And, okay, by the way, quick story. Today was a kind of a slow day for me, so I was just playing games and stuff, Octopath, and then around 6:30 my time, my phone started going fucking crazy. Half the world was like, Tony, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this? Are you going to talk about this tonight? You going to talk about this tonight? So basically, San Diego Comic-Con, they had a Spider-Man panel, or it was a Marvel panel that had Spider-Man shit. So they showed off new trailers, Silver Sable's in the game. And they also showed off the PS4 Pro bundle.
Wait,
hold on, let me finish, motherfucker. I'm still talking.
Yo, man.
So yeah, they got the bundle, they got the poster, the trailers, and what else?
Yo, man, the most important thing. Original Spider-Man outfit is in the fucking game.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it because no one's talking about that, but you did discover it, so I'll give you the props for that. No one's talking about that, which is hilarious.
Yeah, because nobody noticed.
Yeah, everyone's talking about the bundle is funny because it's basically a red PS4 glossy with the Spider-Man logo on it. Motherfuckers on Twitter are losing their minds. Like, by the way,
where's the blue?
Yeah, shout out to OBJ.
Thank you, Manny.
Yeah.
Thank you.
shout out to OBJ who actually went and got the shit today. Carlos saw this too. Motherfuckers showing receipts and stuff. It's hilarious.
And I got your number, OBJ.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that. No,
but yeah, no, I like the bundle, but I agree with Manny and Brian. It's like, yo, get some blue on this bitch. Like
get
on
some blue, man.
Yeah, like on the base of it. Like the PS4 Pro has 3 like layers, kind of, right? Get some blue in that bitch, you know.
Mm-hmm. Unless they don't want it to be too patriotic.
Oh,
red, white, and blue.
Yeah, that's. I didn't think about that. They didn't want to piss off the foreigners.
Red, white, and blue.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Yeah, because Spider-Man's logo's now blue.
Wait, so they actually no, that doesn't fly because the bundles.
Ours isn't only flag with red, white, and blue in it. I mean, the Union Jack has.
Yeah, that is true.
Right?
France is very white and blue.
And also the bundles only for the Americas anyway. What about Canada? What's their flag colors?
Well, it's red and white. So they're gonna love that.
Okay, they're gonna love it.
Oh,
yeah.
hey, it looks exactly like our flag, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here, comic nerds, but isn't the shorthand for Spider-Man's symbol usually just red and black?
No.
Red and black.
His outfit is red and blue.
Yeah, red and blue.
No, his outfit is not the shorthand symbol. I'm talking about the Spider-Man symbol. The circle with the Spider-Man face in it, and the eyes, red and black.
No, red, white.
Yeah, red and white, and I guess black on the outside.
Yeah, red, white, and black. Yeah,
red, white, and black.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't count white as a color, so yeah.
Yo, man, white's not a color.
Yo, man, we're trying to say, man, you racist.
Right? I'm feeling underrepresented. That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah,
white's not a color. Yeah. What?
Anyway, I really want to do this topic because I want
the crayon box.
I really want to do this topic because I want Brian to go off on a rant about the box art. He doesn't like it.
No, but it's not just the box art. It's the PS4 as well. It looks ass. Like, I'm sorry, but it looks like trash. Like, this is one of the laziest things I've seen in my life.
What trash?
The PS4 Pro, the Spider-Man bundle.
Yeah. Oh. As Tony said, it's just a red PS4 Pro with a Spider-Man logo in white, and that's it.
That's it.
Like, it's pure laziness.
Yo, it's glossy though, man.
They should do what Microsoft does with.
Is glossy.
Add a sound like we eject, like a whipping sound,
like compared to the Xbox bundles, this is just like really, really bad. Like it honestly shows no effort, there's zero thought to it. Because in 5 minutes, I managed to come up with a much better design. Like as Tony said, throw in there some blue. Like Spider-Man's suit is iconic because it's red and blue. So why not have like the second layer, like in between, make that one blue? You know. That way you have the red and you have the blue, like the Spider-Man suit, and then have the logo on top. Fine. Or better yet, don't have the blue. You know how like Spider-Man suit has like those like designs where if like zoom in like really, really close, you like see like the webs like kind of like flow in between. Have that on the PS4 Pro. Like, boom, Spider-Man suit. You know, actually put in some effort, and that took 5 minutes of thinking. So this just shows that these guys just didn't even think about it. They just said, let's slap red on it and call it a day. And the controller, my gosh, the controller is even worse. It's like, okay, you see how the controller is essentially like two pieces, the top part and the bottom part? Why not just make the bottom part blue? That way you have the red and you have the blue. You know, like the Spider-Man suit. I mean, was no one thinking when they made this?
Right.
Like, honestly, it's just insulting. It's like, they just said, like, they just had some guy just came in and said, hey, make it red, make it white, done. We're going to lunch. End of story. Go away.
I mean,
Honestly,
that white part could be like a decal too. It's like you didn't put webs on it, nothing.
Yeah, it's just lazy. It is just lazy, and the box art itself is. Every time I see the box art, it's just like, who did this? Because
it's red
no
with
one
the Spider-Man
did
on, right?
Jeez.
No one just took a photo of the photo mode, just like cropped out Spider-Man, said, boom, red background, let's call it a day, let's go home. It's like, really? Like, at least put in like New York in the background or something. It's like
it's the Alex Ross cover, right?
Exactly. Like you have a character who's like one of the most iconic guys in comic books. He has how many amazing looking comic book covers. You couldn't just copy the hat and have it on there, or have like have him there, have like some rose gallery in the background or something, you know, or have like the reflection of like the Empire State Building in his eyes or something. No, it's just Spider-Man, red background, we're calling it a day. Like, really? Like, it just seems like it's just lazy. on all parts, and it's really annoying because
Well, you know
I
why?
want to like this.
They want as many people to not be offended by it as possible. I mean, this is obviously homogenized. Come on. Like, yes, that would be cool, but to less people. Like, this is the most widely acceptable option.
Yeah, this is what I was telling Brian. We were having a nice little vigorous conversation about this. I said most game covers are fucking bland as shit. I think you nailed it, Brett, because they don't want to offend anybody. It's just like, here's a guy in the here's a guy in the box. He's in the middle. He's with his back behind you or whatever. He's in front of you. Usually it's like just the torso. It's like the blandest shit you see nowadays.
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with offending. It's really just it's the simplest things ever because. As human beings, there's a method to the madness. So it's like people react to certain things. Usually putting something front row center. Usually people react to putting giant heads on thing in the center. Usually it does those things. It's those same sorts of tropes. Rather than complicate anything, it's just like, all right, we'll just slap the guy on the cover.
I don't think Tony means that it's. I don't think Tony means exactly what he says. I think he means the same thing that I do. And correct me if I'm wrong.
I took your words, dude. I took your words. That's all I did. Okay. I just took your words. So clarify yourself. My thing is like, I think, it's just they went for the easiest route because I'm maybe not offensive is not the right word, but they definitely want to play it safe.
Palatable.
Yeah.
The most palatable. It's like the act of homogenization, or it's like when you blend a whiskey. You get all the good whiskeys and all the good batches of whiskey and all the bad batches of whiskey, and it comes out with something that's but it's consistently meh. Which means like if everybody in the world rates it a 6 out of 10, then Sony's going to consider it a success, even if nobody in the world rates it a 10 out of 10. So that's what it is. It's simple. It's not pushing too much in any one direction. Like, what Brian is talking about, all of us old comic guys would fucking love, but I guarantee you there's a whole bunch of millennials that be like, this shit seems like old.
Yeah, they would do that.
I don't think so.
Speak for yourself, Brett.
Well, you're
there's a reason why they don't have like drawn video game covers anymore because people don't like that shit.
It's also not that people don't like that shit. It's just because marketing thinks that people don't like that shit. By the way, everything out there is all the same thing, and they're like, "Well, the market dictates that these things should be that way."
Look how movie trailers change everything. It's like let's get a James Horner sound or
By the way, this is off topic, but Chris, since you brought it up, I don't want to talk about this specifically, but this just shows you the blandness of posters nowadays. Did you see that Aquaman poster? Holy shit!
Well, what's the point anymore?
No one tries anymore. That's what I'm saying. It's like Brian, I hope you didn't misunderstand me. I agree that Spider-Man cover is boring, but everything's fucking boring now.
And then this one, I came back and I said, not everything. There are some good stuff out there. Like, and I brought up the Bloodborne poster. I thought that's actually really
literally
nice.
A guy standing in the middle. It's the same shit
with his back showing.
Yeah.
Then if you look where his torso is, you'll see that it's actually depending on which cover you have, I'm talking about the one with the white background. You see his torso, you'll see that there's there's Yharnam there. It's good use of negative space. Same thing with Dragon's Dogma. I would admit that yes, there are some really bland ones, and I'm going to bring this up because it's true. The Witcher 3, that's fucking trash. It's just Geralt there with some sparks on a white background.
Remember Metal Gear Solid 4? It's fucking Snake's face.
Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5 have the worst covers.
What else? Doom. I love Doom. The blandest fucking. As a matter of fact, you know what they did? They took the font of different games, slapped it on there, and it all fit.
But then you look at the Switch edition of the game, and what cover did they put on there?
Yeah, they went for
they went with the classic cover where he's like beating up all those monsters.
Or the homage to the classic cover. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then this one meant by Spider-Man has lots of good covers. Just take the style because they have obviously announced that there is a Sinister Six tie-in in the game. So take a cover variant which has the Sinister Six in the background and Spider-Man in the center, and make that the thing. It's not too hard. It's just really bad how they just not seem to just care. It just seems like, hey, we have the Spider-Man name. Let's just stick some generic Spider-Man thing and just call it a day. It's like, you have tons of inspiration to use, but yet you didn't use any of it. And I think that's what's getting me down like even more. It's like you have lots of history there. You have lots of stuff to pull from. Lots of great stuff to pull from, but yet you choose like the blandest, safest thing you could think of and call it a day. It's like,
yeah, but I mean that's that. I mean, Arkham Asylum and all the Arkham games.
Yeah, they all do that.
Issue. Yeah,
it's not that I disagree with you, Brian. I completely agree with you, but you know that's just the way it is. You know,
and I think
unfortunately,
it's just the way that marketing works. I mean, I've you know, every so often I've actually talked to like some game developers, and they're like, "Yeah, we have no control over the cover." And once it gets over into marketing, they're like, "We wanted to put this thing on there, but they said we needed to do this."
But it's not marketing.
No, it is. It is
marketing. It is marketing.
It is always marketing that says that sort of stuff. It's not like they can't like it's the market. What usually happens is once the guys have completed the game, it goes over the marketing, and marketing says, you know what, you need to do this, this, and this, and this. This
Watch
is
Mad
all
Men.
the. This
Yeah,
is
but do you know why?
Because it's what is
They pay that for. People suck because people suck.
No, but the thing is that they base it off. They obviously base it off of what is already currently on the market. The thing is, they don't think to challenge the market, and that's the problem. They think, okay, they continue to push the same things forward because they've worked before in the past. Even though they could probably get away with putting anything on a fucking cover and it'd still do amazing.
I disagree.
I'm pretty sure the artists that are creating these covers already know what to do. They're like, yeah, so I'm like, okay, you need the cover art for the new Spider-Man game. Okay, I already have a picture in my head how it's gonna look. I'm just gonna put Spider-Man and impose that on the layout of every other cover that I do.
But see, I would think the same thing. But 15 years in the tattoo business has taught me, if only one thing, it's that people want stupid shit. You will give people the greatest options in the world. You can give them the coolest picture in the world, and almost inevitably, 9 out of 10 times, they're going to pick the simplest, easiest, dumbest option humanly possible. Because
there's always two things that they'll go for. And I know this as a person who does this stuff. It's usually simplicity and detail. So if you ever notice, like a lot of those covers are like they always turn up the detail on it. Like in other words, they'll turn on the sharpen on it, and you'll see all kinds of like pores and shit on it, and that's how they get away with it. They throw in a simple image you can see from far away, and then what they'll do is they'll throw like a sharpened texture thing on there, a bunch of photo texture on it to kind of make it look like it's more detailed than it actually is.
Yeah, exactly. They'll fill it up with busyness, but at the end of the day, it's this very simple, easily packaged. Look, it's a guy with a gun, and
it's a guy with a gun. It's a guy with a big head.
Even the PlayStation itself, like, notice it doesn't have webbing on it. I have this sneaky suspicion that it's because if we put webbing on it, we're going to dictate which Spider-Man this is. Is it the cartoon Spider-Man? Is it the old movie Spider-Man?
No, I mean, here's the thing. Brian has said it himself. Like, Xbox is like the master of these friggin' alternate consoles, and all of them most of them look very nice. It is in general that the PlayStation 4 console special consoles have never really looked that great. Like, I mean, going back to the OG PlayStation 4, what did they do? They didn't even bother like making special editions. They just printed something on that little removable part, And it's a lot of this stuff is just like that. Like, look at any of the special consoles for PlayStation. They're all just a color or just a simple small design somewhere that's really not very cool, right?
Yeah. Quickly, I want to throw this in here. This from Chief Tomei. He goes about the new bundle. It's simplistic and classy, way better than all the other consoles. The whole thing is red. It's not like they threw on a couple of stickers like all the other bundles.
Yeah, they threw on one sticker, the logo, and that's it.
They threw on one sticker. Like,
I can literally replicate that console in like 5 seconds with some spray can, a printer, and some glue.
You want to talk about a very well designed PlayStation 4, and it is the only one, and it has the Metal Gear Solid 5 one.
Why am I not surprised you would say that?
Come on, it literally represents what the big thing about the game is with that stupid arm, right? So the console is red, and it's also gray, and it has the gold band like the actual arm does, and then the controller looks like a gun, right? It's gunmetal gray. It's got like a little bit of, and it's got a logo on it and stuff. So, I mean, yes, it's simple, but and it's got a Spider-Man logo on it. But I think they could have done a little bit more on it.
Yeah, I know they could have, but it seems like, at least just judging from my Twitter, these guys don't care. Like, I want that.
They're just like a bigger, to be honest, like why even pre-order the damn thing? You could literally just get a red PlayStation 4 and slap a decal on it and be like, done.
Call it a day.
Exactly.
This is what you guys are missing. Like, there are so many people flipping their shit over this. It's a simple thing. It is a very simple, non-confrontational design. But people fucking love it, and that's my point. Like, it's not that it goes to marketing, and marketing's like, you know what? We should do this. Like, marketing is its own industry based on psychology and market testing, and all of that shit comes directly from the people. And so it gets to marketing.
Well, hey, yeah, you'd like to think that that's the ideal marketing. Manny and I experience like the actual marketing where there's a ton of ego and narcissism involved.
Yes, these for certain companies we have worked for, which we will not name. The marketing to the marketing was so idiotic. You would be amazed. A lot of it is just asking their family, like, "Hey, little Jimmy, what do you think?" "Oh, I don't like that." That's how much marketing goes.
Yeah, where research counts as watching like The View and shit, and they'll count that as research, right?
Yes.
And reading Vogue and that shit. Like it's the laziest stuff ever. This is why you get covers like this.
But it's working, is my point. And like, that's the thing. Like, until it stops
it's only working because nothing was offered better. That's why it's working. Yeah.
And it doesn't work
if you only have one choice, then nobody knows that there's anything better. They're not gonna fucking ask for something better, dude.
Okay, if that was the case, how come people aren't outraged over this bundle? They're going crazy.
Because they haven't seen an alternative. It's the only thing there. So you give them one choice and they're like, all right, this looks great. You don't give them anything better. They don't have anything to compare it to.
And if that works, why is that not viable though? That's my point. Like, I understand why you're upset at it. Twitter is blowing up over this shit, and so
I'm not
a viable marketing strategy.
To be honest, I'm not upset about it. But
but Brett, you're looking at the wrong thing. This is Spider-Man. It's not blowing up because of the cover. It's blowing up because it's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
exactly. Spider-Man is a worldwide brand. It's huge. It's right up there. If you look on the list of like top 5 brands, it's Mickey Mouse, Mario, and Spider-Man. He's the biggest. He's one of the biggest brands in the world. It has not. They could literally They could put a turd on a web on the cover, and it's Spider-Man.
They could literally They could even go even simpler and just write Spider-Man on the damn thing.
Yeah, in black. Yeah, and that's it.
And our idiot asses would buy it. So whose fault is that? Is it their fault for putting out a product that we're going to throw money at, even though it's basically shit? Or hold on, if they manipulated the system, so all they have to do is not show us anything but one shitty design, and we still throw money at them. Whose fault is that? That's our fault. We're throwing money at a half-baked design and buying it up and talking about it on Twitter and everything like that. They've succeeded in their marketing. We're spending money. We're talking about it.
Well, here's the thing. The thing about it is that when you don't give anybody a choice, you give only one thing.
Manny, to be fair, how many different types of bundles do they put out at the same time? I've never seen that before. Correct me if I'm wrong.
But I've never seen, in other words,
hey guys, we're putting out three different Spider-Man bundles. Choose which one you want. You're not going to do that.
No, you're not going to see that. But obviously, if you don't give anybody a choice, you just give everybody one. They're obviously going to choose the only one that's out there.
Yeah, but they're not going to smile about it. Like that's the thing. Okay, so you go to a steakhouse, right? And you sit down and you're like, I'll have a steak. And they say, we don't have steak. We only have garbage. And you're like, well, I don't really want garbage. You're like, oh, well, then how about a cheeseburger? And you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll have a cheeseburger. And you walk out, you're like, that was a damn good cheeseburger. And you write a good review to that restaurant. It doesn't matter to that restaurant what you came in for or what you thought. You bought the thing that they wanted you to buy, and you left happy telling your friends about it. They have succeeded. That's no fault on their own. The only fault on there is the person who's too dumb to realize that they came in for a steak and didn't get a fucking steak. It's us.
Yeah, that's the way. The thing is, like I said, you don't give anybody a choice about anything, and that's what you get.
Barry Burns says he's still.
They made a song about it too.
Barry Burns says he's still outraged.
It is.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. Like that
will never change.
Yeah, Barry Burns says he's still outraged about Spider-Man 3. So am I. But yeah, no,
Spider-Man 3.
It's like you guys are talking about like the least consequential thing when it comes to like enjoying video games.
Yeah,
so
it is obviously
the console.
The console.
Does it come with a physical copy?
Carlos, you're right. It's like, are you looking at your console while you're playing the game?
That, and I was going to mention, I bought the God of War Pro bundle. I haven't seen that shit since I fucking bought it because it's sitting behind a fucking monitor.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I see mine all the time, but I bought skins for it because I'm not an idiot.
Yo, Carlos, you stupid,
I'm
son.
plain old.
Stupid, yo.
Did you call me an idiot?
Well, you spend a bunch of extra money for something that sits behind a monitor, so.
Damn.
Wait.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
I don't buy consoles.
Let's get Throwdown.
I look at the TV screen, man. That's what I'm playing.
Well, then why are you so excited to buy the Spider-Man 4 bundle? Then?
I'm not buying it.
No, I don't think that you are. I'm saying that you are excited to.
I'm excited to. Well, because I buy everything.
Okay.
He's excited to spend
Ain't
some
part
money.
of the problem.
Did you buy that limited edition PS4 with the OG PS4? Oh, with the OG PlayStation colors?
That thing was really difficult to find.
Classic.
I just got the controller for that, and I still use it. I like that throwback.
Yeah, the controller was hot.
Controller, but I couldn't
I
find
still
it.
use it.
Did you buy like the limited edition PS4 blue one with like the weird blue and gold shit?
Yes.
Why? That's so disgusting.
That's just the way it
Terrible.
is.
For the record, I have a white
Things
PS4.
will never change.
Yeah.
Copyright strike. All right, man.
Anyway.
Not if I'm singing it. Not if I'm singing it. You're allowed to sing it. You just can't play it.
Yeah,
It's homage and parody.
Exactly. There you
So,
go. Parody.
so
That sounds nothing like her.
my closing statement with this is: if you guys like how the Spider-Man cover, the Spider-Man bundle looks, go ahead, man. It's all good.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
Are you gonna get it? Are you?
If you like it, then that's all you. Like I have nothing. I have no beef. Like if you like it, that's fine. I'm just letting you know that I think it's trash. That's all. Also, I went on
That was the most British thing.
Straight up trash.
Oh,
It's like when you're at
like
it's like when you're at the
No.
They are
Brian,
it's like when
you
you
cannot top it. No, we're stopping it because you cannot top that. That's the perfect way to end that segment.
I could top it.
Okay, go ahead. Then you're gonna.
It's like when you're at the club and you see that girl, like, yo, she's hot, right? It's like, yo, if you like it, man. Yo, she's hot. Yo, if that's you, that's all you do.
Man, that's
I gotta go.
Perfect segue, man. All right, so this is interesting. So we got to talk about No Man's Sky next. So
whoa!
So basically, they're giving you the game that Sean Murray lied to you about 2 years ago. It's gonna have multiplayer. It's gonna have, you could explore the galaxy with your friends. You could build bases. You could have spaceship battles. Basically,
and it's got a third-person mode.
It's got everything that they said was going to be in the game is going to be in the game. And now, Brett, this leads back to a conversation you and I were having earlier today about like, when do you go? Should you go back to a game that you weren't impressed by originally? We're talking about Sea of Thieves, today, but this applies to this one too. And remember what I told you? I'm like, listen, if you don't impress me on day one, no, I'm not giving you another chance. That applies to Street Fighter.
There's a huge difference between like a couple of months and a couple of fucking years. And I will say, I'm gonna tap myself out of this fucking conversation because I am biased. The one thing I will say is, fuck you, No Man's Sky. Fuck you for promising me a game. Fuck you for not delivering it. Fuck you for saying I was going to have multiplayer. And fuck you for only delivering it after the one person I wanted to play this game with is fucking dead. That is I want to just point out real fucking quick. There is real goddamn consequences to doing this shit. And everyone wants to talk, oh, it's fine. Oh, the game gets delayed a little. Oh, we didn't get what we fucking expected. That's fine. That's all well and that's good. But you should all feel fucking bad for yourselves because you tore that shit out of the mouth of me and my wife while we still had a chance to play it. And now I'm never going to get the opportunity again. So you know what? There are bigger things than just having your game a little bit late. There are bigger things than just fulfilling your promise to a consumer. Because you know what? In my eyes, you have fucked up so irreversibly that everybody who touched that product can pretty much fuck themselves with a burning dildo. Because you know what? I can't fucking enjoy it anymore because your ass waited too long. I'm done.
Shit, I don't even know how to follow that up.
Can't follow that up.
Yeah.
So
We'll just move on. There you go. That's it. Nobody go back to that shit.
Spider-Man?
Nobody go back to that shit.
Yeah, even when Adam is not confident about topping
That's
anything.
it.
Damn.
That's it. It's done. It's a wrap.
It's done. Yeah.
Drop the mic. Kick it in the garbage.
The people have spoken. We're done with that topic. So next up
over.
here, this one is interesting. So apparently Remedy was asked, why haven't we seen a sequel to Alan Wake or Quantum Break? And they said because of Microsoft. Microsoft hasn't greenlit these things. Now, Alan Wake, now here's the interesting thing. There's little caveats here. Microsoft does own the rights to Quantum Break, but they do not to Alan Wake 2, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, they could do a sequel to Alan Wake. Why they gotta wait on Microsoft?
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, what do you guys think about all this, man?
I thought it didn't sell well. It was never a big money maker.
That's the thing right there. That's what people don't seem to understand. The reason these games haven't got sequels is because they didn't sell that well. They didn't bomb or anything like that, but they just sold, you know what I'm saying?
So what's the
They're
point?
not compared to the amount of money that they put into actually making the actual game. So I definitely think that's the reason why Microsoft is not calling back, because they're like, well, you spent these millions of dollars on this game. It did. So I think in general for Remedy, though, when it comes to their things, I feel like they are kind of they should be a multi-platform developer. Because because even if it doesn't do well in the Microsoft space, it still has the chance to do well in a PlayStation space, and they eventually will release the PC versions too. So I definitely feel like I think like Alan Wake and both, but I think Alan Wake was supposed to be a multi-platform game before Microsoft bought the exclusivity rights to it, and I feel like if both of those games were actually for multi-platform, I think they were probably done way better than they actually did.
Yeah, don't be surprised if Control is probably their best-selling game ever.
Well, you heard the. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if everybody on the stream heard it, but when you saw Remedy's name show up on the screen, everyone went, "Oh!" like that.
Yeah, that was Hip Hop Gamer though, man. To be fair.
No, that was everybody in the crowd, man.
Let me ask a weird question. Does Remedy itself as a studio hold more name recognition than any of their individual titles? Because I kind of feel like that's the case, which makes it so that they don't necessarily need to rely on pre-established IPs. You could just say a Remedy game is coming out, people are like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I definitely think that their reputation precedes the actual things that they made. I mean, granted, they have the pedigree of making the original Max Payne, and then they have a pedigree of making very well received games, after which is Alan Wake and Quantum Break.
Quantum
Break.
Yeah, and they're not. Well, Quantum Break wasn't very well received. It was just received. It was received.
But I still think like it's weird. Like you'll be like, "Oh, Heavy Rain, blah blah blah," and people will be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know that game." You'll be like, Quantum Break game. And they'll be like, "Oh, that studio." Like they seem to almost know more about the studio than the individual games. So you don't really get the pow you do off of returning to a franchise, because that's usually the safe bet. But in this case, the safe bet just seems to be, we're going to say the name of everybody who's there. You say the name of the studio, and then that's going to get our foot in the door. Like, you don't really need the franchise name, because their developer name is kind of doing that job for them.
Yeah, but to be fair, though, Max Payne is still in a lot of people's hearts and shit, so they remember that. I think that's one of the reasons why Remedy's still big.
No,
Yeah.
I agree with that, but, and I hate to say it like this, Tony, because it's going to make both of us feel old, but if they released another Max Payne game tomorrow, do you think it would do as well as a new IP by the same company?
Oh, do better considering it's Rockstar.
Yeah,
Rockstar.
It's
And that's
Rockstar
a lot
now.
of people forget that. They were like, "Oh, they need to do another Max Payne." That last one was cool. That last one was Rockstar. It wasn't them.
I thought Rockstar just licensed it.
No,
They
they bought it from them.
Yeah, they own that shit.
When they opened the studio, they sold the rights to Max Payne.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
a lot of people get that mixed up, because I know even online after that whole, I saw it. It was on Twitter. People were just like, yeah, another Max Payne, and I was like, well, when is somebody gonna jump in and say that it's not them? It's Rockstar that owns it. People just don't know, because then they see the bullet time, and we saw that in that game, that new one that they showed, the bullet time.
Yeah, but again, I think that the next game will probably be their best-selling game, just because it's going to be on more consoles. But yeah, it's interesting. But again, it's like, is anybody really surprised with this? Of course, it's Microsoft saying no because they didn't make them enough money. You know,
they probably they definitely would say no because they wouldn't do it. You know, it's their same reason why a lot of their franchises never came back after they did one or two.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is the same reason why we don't have a SOCOM 5.
It's the same reason why we don't have Cameo too.
Cameo.
Yeah, probably the same reason why I don't have another table tennis.
Sunset Overdrive 2, you know.
There's no blanks. Come on.
Lost Odyssey 2.
Lost Odyssey 2, man. Yeah, SOCOM, you're right, though, Brian. You know, it's crazy, man. All right, moving on here. I threw this one in here specifically for you, Brett. So it turns out that Fallout 5, they're already talking about that game is going to be a single-player experience. So they're like, listen, Fallout 76 is still a bit of an experiment. If you don't want to try that, we got a traditional experience for you with Fallout 5. So what do you think about the fact that not every Fallout game will be multiplayer-focused going forward? Because that was the kind of fear people were having. It's like, oh, fuck, are all these games going to be multiplayer now? But that's not going to be the case. Anyway, Brett, what's your take on this?
No fucking duh. I mean, I'm sorry. Did people really expect the Fallout franchise to go full multiplayer?
Yeah, that was this is what his because remember he was asked about that because people have been asking him so much. You know, Todd Howard, he had to actually come out and address this because everybody was fearing that this is going to be a multiplayer franchise now.
No, it was never going to be a multiplayer franchise. Having it be a multiplayer franchise is going to compromise too many of the core pillars of what make a Fallout game a Fallout game.
That's exactly why they gave it a different name.
Yeah, it's why it's not Fallout 4 or 5 or it's Fallout 76. It's a spin-off title. Now, it's because everybody's wanted to see these kinds of things in a multiplayer game, but be ready, people. This is not going to be the same Fallout that you are used to of playing on your single player. You can't pick up a bottle and then drop it and then just have it roll across the ground. I very much doubt that they're going to be able to keep every single bit of the experience fully intact while transferring it to multiplayer. I imagine they're going to try and keep some of it, which is why we're having 16-player lobbies, which is your average multiplayer lobby, because they want to have actual real-time gunfights without having lagging or rubber banding. So they're kind of keeping it to deathmatch size. But I still, you're not going to see the world impact or any of that. They're making a game that you're entering, you're just coming out of the vaults. They're not going to have towns and cities and NPCs and quest chains. They're going to have little bits of that stuff, but it's not going to be a full-fledged Fallout game because it's multiplayer. And if it were multiplayer, here's the only way you could have an actual multiplayer game from Bethesda, in my opinion. That's if you let somebody bring their character in and act as your companion through the game, because you already have a companion that walks through the game with you. But that's still probably going to involve a lot of weird, unexpected things that you didn't even think about, and probably fucking break the game. I mean, you'll have a ton of people just have somebody who's 60 levels higher jump in and just wreck everything. So it's a very complicated formula, and obviously they couldn't make it work with actual Fallout 4, which is the whole reason that we're seeing this game developed. This is their response when they said everybody wants Fallout to have multiplayer. They were trying to put multiplayer in Fallout. That's why this game was being developed alongside of Fallout 4. It was originally planned to be part of Fallout 4. Now, if everything had gone swimmingly and according to plan, we probably would have seen this released as part of Fallout 4. It's not like they just suddenly figured out how to do it. They realized that the two experiences, they just don't mesh as well. But there's enough there in the multiplayer experience to have a fun game and make a fun game. But it's not gonna seamlessly blend into your classic Fallout experience, which is why they didn't involve it. Which makes it very obvious to me that they're not going to blend it into the next Fallout game either. If somebody came in and said, I'm going to try and figure out a way to make chocolate gummy bears, and they came out with a bar of chocolate and a handful of gummy bears and gave them to you, and you're like, these are pretty good, you'd probably follow it up with, I assume you couldn't get them to mix well. And they'd be like, no, when we mixed them, it was fucking awful. It just didn't work on 12 different levels, so we decided to keep them separate. I mean, that just seems very obvious to me. So again, to reiterate, the fact that Fallout 76 isn't part of Fallout 4 shows me that Fallout 76 cannot be part of a mainline Fallout game. It has to be its own game. So when we come back to a mainline Fallout game, no, it's not going to be connected, or it's not going to be the same thing. It has the Fallout games have to be their own game. They don't meld or blend with the situation like this. At this point, I'm just beating a dead horse. So somebody else say something.
Yeah, I'm personally happy about this because I wasn't too scared, but I'm like, okay, is this where they're going now? But I guess not, and that means I could easily skip Fallout 76 and just wait for Fallout 5, because to me Fallout 5 or Fallout in general, I like that whole, like, I like the fact that you're in this world and you're just alone and you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I kind of like that experience. I think having multiplayer would just completely ruin that, so I'm kind of glad that I guess they're catering to two audiences, which is smart, and it's Bethesda, so you know this shit's gonna make money, you know, so yeah.
Motherfucker, you better show up to Fallout 76. I will drag your ass there.
Why? Take somebody else, man. I'll probably play with you. Don't worry about it, Brett. But I just don't care, to be honest. Fallout 5, that's the shit I'm waiting on now. That's probably going to be next gen, isn't it?
Oh, that's many years off.
Yeah, that's not going to be for a while. Also, does anybody else have anything to say about Fallout? I think Brett's probably the biggest Fallout guy here.
Yeah.
War never changes.
He's a Fallout boy.
Oh, ouch.
Wait, does that make me the second biggest Fallout fan? Because that's pretty bad, because I'm not that big of a fan of the franchise to begin with. Chris, you played those games too, didn't you?
But you got the platinum, so you put time in it.
Yeah, hey, you know how your boy get. I got 2 platinums. I got Fallout 3 and 4.
See, you like that game.
Fuck, I guess I'm a Fallout fan then. Oh, well.
I've played every game since 2.
Oh shit.
I played the first one.
I've never played a Fallout game in my life, and I'll never play one.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I got the My Name Is Mayo, so plateau that. I'm a Mayo
You're the
fanboy.
Biggest, whoa. There's at least 2 of us who have that trophy.
Damn, see, we're fanboys of that one. Then yeah, take that.
Not to derail the conversation, but we got time. Now, Brett, how come you want to drag me into this, but you don't want to drag Manny into this?
Because Manny, you guys both have weird mental blocks. At least you're like more clear about yours. Manny it's hard to pin Manny down. Like, I don't even know why Manny, I don't know why you would never play a Fallout game. I
will tell you exactly why I do not play a Fallout.
Because it looks like fucking shit.
No, well then and the glitches is not the thing either. The thing is, I know myself, and I will continuously collect things. And that is exactly why I do not play that game.
You're afraid it'll eat your face. Okay,
exactly. That is it. And my time is quite precious.
Okay,
there's a certain reason why I don't get involved with a game like that, because I know myself. I'll get lost for hours and hours and hours in it when there's some very important things that need to be done.
Same reason you don't want to try crack. It may be great, but there's probably going to be going on from there.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
but
that's
playing a long ass video game is not detrimental to your health though, like crack.
So yeah, like that, there's that, and then it's also precisely the same reason why I don't commit to full on RPGs anymore, because I don't have that sort of time, and I know myself. I will shirk any sort of other responsibilities to play the game, and that's why I don't do it.
That makes sense.
By
Tony,
the way, go ahead. Before you go on, Brett, I just want to tell you a story that you may make you understand things. All right, so I'm not gonna name any names. So Manny and I have a friend, because he's still our friend,
you
right?
just named a name.
Yeah, Manny. You know what I'm talking about. Our friends. So basically, back in the day, whenever you would ask him to do you a favor, he'd do it, but he'd bitch about it incessantly, just so because he got some enjoyment out of it or whatever, right? I'm kind of like that. You see, I think the answer is, I'll complain, but I'm down to play a multiplayer game with you. I'll still do it at the end of the day. I may bitch about it, but I'll still do it.
You're bitching about it is like.
What about the Black Ops? We were gonna play Black Ops.
Yeah, I wanted to play. I wanted to play Octopath, man.
But then again, WrestleCast takes like
50 hours.
50 hours.
You can play a game and play a full game in Wrestle in the time it takes to record WrestleCast.
Now, hopefully, Brett, in the future, you're gonna end up just like our friend. Again, I asked him for a favor recently, right? I'm waiting for that resistance. He was like, okay. I'm like, damn, really? Shit. I guess having kids and shit, changes your perspective. It's like, I gotta fight every day, bro. I'm not fighting this shit. So maybe in 10 years, I'll be like, hey, Tony, you want to play this game? Sure.
I think the big reason I want you to play the game is I think you have a misconception that you look at this game that has all of this shit to do, and I understand why you think, oh man, I have to do all of this shit, but you don't really. In this type of game, it's kind of delegated amongst different people. So the way I look at it, like, you're like, yeah, I like Fallout. I'm like, man, I don't like that base building shit though. Like, man, I love that base building shit. Like, I will build a base for you. I will build a base with fucking parapets and turrets and a fucking big cozy fireplace when you walk in. And I think that when you actually play it that way, you're gonna be like, oh, that's pretty cool. So like, I just bring you some fucking aluminum and you make like a badass like kill channel. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what happens. You're like, oh, okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah, but I don't want to pick up shit. I just want to kill stuff, you know? Like,
you don't loot things after you kill them?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you do that, but I'm like, hey, go search, go hop, hack that tree and bring me this. I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. You do it, motherfucker.
But see, that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand. Like in these types of games, and I know this because I am the base dad. I am the commander or what have you. Like, I generally build up things and then I issue missions the way narrative or the way the game normally does to other people. So I'll say, like, I need you to go over here, fight these guys, take them out, bring me back the weapon of their leader and some stuff along with you. And if you do that, when you come back, I will craft you a fancy new gun and a set of armor and send you off on a new mission. It's part of the reason I like being a DM in games like D&D. Like, you do have to have somebody there to build the experience for you, to build the base for you and tell you where to go and basically act as your general NPC in most games. But I actually love doing that stuff. Well, some people like micromanagement and base management.
The thing that worries me is like I all that stuff sounds great, except the ability for the guys fucking with you to launch a nuclear missile at you and end all that work.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like, if somebody else could fuck up my progress, then no deal, no fucking way,
but and that's the other thing. It wouldn't be your progress; it would be my progress.
Yeah, like,
well, I mean, we're all helping you, so it's like, oh, we collected all this shit and they just nuked it.
Yeah, I listen, if they have co-op missions where like the four of us could like get together and just kill a bunch of big monsters, I'm fucking down. The base building stuff, I don't need that.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. For everybody, it's like, man, I just really don't want anybody able to launch a nuke at my base and ruin me. Yeah, but think about launching a nuke at somebody's base. How fucking satisfying would that be? And it's not going to be easy either. Like, it's good. I'm hoping that they're balancing, and it looks like they're balancing in a way where they realize, like, you really have to hate a motherfucker because you're gonna have to put in like 20 hours worth of gaming to get the codes for that one nuke. So it's not like you're just gonna be able to drop a nuke on everybody like every fucking day. You're gonna have to find the 5 different parts of the code, which are gonna involve 5 dungeon crawls. So think of it this way: in order to get the nuke, you would have to finish 5 Destiny endgame 12-person raids or whatever the fuck they are, like the big end game raids. You'd have to finish at least 5 of them, to just be able to get the components to launch one nuke. That is a lot of players and a lot of time. And so they're kind of going with this whole, is it worth it? Now, there will be people who grind for 30 hours just to fuck up one guy's day. I'm sure that's going to happen. But at the same time, like, it's not going to be as rampant as I think people think that it's going to be. Also, I'm wondering, since they're only having 16-player servers, I'm wondering if they're going to have the ability to move servers and thus move your bases, or they're going to have some way to basically quickly build back up if you're destroyed. And it could be anything from like blueprints or something like that. Like, if something gets destroyed, you still see the ghost image of the wall that got destroyed, and you just feed the materials back into it and all automatically rebuilds.
Well, I think the whole surrounding area, I think the mechanic of the game is that area is now a wasteland. It's radioactive. Like, you can't even hang out there anymore.
Yeah,
because he said you could then loot what appears there. Like, I'm sure like death claws and shit will start popping up in there and all that.
Exactly, which has got me wondering. I wonder if they're going to have some sort of mobile-based platform where you can like kind of like fold it up, put it away, leave, so that at least it's not just sitting there when you're logged out or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, I'll definitely play with you, man. I'll just be worried. I'll just be like, we're gonna be like, the base is finished. Before we have that glass of lemonade, I'm gonna go put Patriot missiles on the roof because shit.
Nope, there absolutely is. Also, again, this is Fallout. I would be really surprised if there weren't some way to build a shelter or a bunker or something to protect you from, like,
Fallout shelter.
Yeah. Rarely in these games do they. Okay, in Ark, for instance, there's a giant fucking super dinosaur that can come through and destroy all your things. Or in in Conan, you can summon down one of the gods. There's always some kind of either defense or way to subvert that. Like if they're getting ready to call down the gods, you see their altar building up, you see priests and shit at it. So you run a raid to fucking kill their head priest and set them back like 8 to 10 hours. Because you know what they're doing, and it's visibly obvious to everybody else. So there should be some kind of warning system and that would actually prompt players to then, raid these people's base or fight these guys. I can't imagine that they're just going to have such a huge oversight of just like, yeah, just press this button and fuck over 9 people's day. And then you could do it again tomorrow. That's going to stop people from playing real fast. And I think they're smarter than that. I hope that they're smarter than that.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're going to move on here. But yeah, it's very interesting about this Fallout 76 game. We don't really know much about it. Everything I've heard is a lot of speculation. It's like we know it's multiplayer and that's about it. Or maybe I'm missing something. I don't know anything about this fucking game. A lot of people, and it seems like to me a lot of people are just speculating on what they think is going to be in the game. I don't know.
Well, they've said that you'll have nukes.
Yeah, because
I'm
like
PvP.
Yeah. Is it all PvP? Is it all?
Yeah,
PvP?
that's what they announced. They said that every person you come across is going to be another real person. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering, like, can we like be on a server just on our own and just facing monsters? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really
there are quests, there are monsters, there are missions, but there will also be other. So what it'll be okay. So this person who also just came out of the vault, they're trying to build an establishment, right? They're an NPC. They need you to go north into this gully to get some supplies. But as you do, they're going to intentionally make you run across other players. So there'll be objectives, but those objectives will push you into the path of other players. And that's one of those things that they're actually finally figuring about this game design is it's about giving you an incentive and then having that incentive be on the other side of a player. So you're most likely to run into other people as you're doing your random stuff. So it's not like you just sit around and run around and look for other players or try and hide from other players and just gather materials. You're doing quests, but then you have the random opportunity to just in the middle of doing your quest run against, like, say, a random survivor with a shotgun. So like you're trying to kill all these feral ghouls, and all of a sudden this motherfucker happens along. Is he going to help you? Is he going to hurt you? If you see him, do you attack him or do you hold back and keep doing your mission? And maybe you do that. Maybe you're just killing ghouls and he's just hanging on the outside of this little parking lot by a fence. The whole time you're side-eyeing and be like, this motherfucker going to come in as soon as I kill these ghouls, so you may break off and try and murder that guy. Like it's that moment where you see a player and you don't know whether they're a help or a hindrance, and you have to decide, and that decision then influences your further gameplay. It's a cool thing. I've had to have it started with the whole DayZ friend or foe thing. In DayZ, everybody's always going to murder you. So that's pretty much a general rule of thumb to go by. Probably in Fallout, if you see somebody, don't fucking trust them. Or trust them in the first 2 weeks, and then everything is going to turn shit. Because that's kind of how it works. And I actually fucking love that. That sounds like a Fallout universe to me. Like everybody gets out of the shelter, everybody's getting along, holding hands, singing Kumbaya, killing the bad guys. And then all of a sudden, Daryl over there wants some of Tim's stuff, and all shit breaks loose.
You monster.
Yeah. All right, man. And the last thing here, this one's for fun. Okay, so for years, right, we've been saying, or some of us have been saying, like, hey, man, wouldn't it be awesome if Nathan Fillion was Nathan Drake in a live-action Uncharted movie? We kind of got a little bit of taste of that this week. So they made a fan film starring Nathan Fillion as Drake, and he fucking nailed it. He's exactly what you thought he was going to be. It was awesome, And
not to mention the old guy. I can't remember the guy from
the guy from Avatar, Stephen Lang. Stephen Lang.
Yeah, Stephen Lang and Ernie Reyes Jr. Of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles / Conan. No, excuse me, Red Sonja.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was exactly. There's not much I could add to him. Like it's exactly what I imagined it would be. And they did it sound like a. They Nathan Fillion was like, yeah, we just wanted to do it, and now I'm hearing that they may even turn it into a mini series now because it's how popular it's been. Fucking crazy. Now, and this is completely opposite, or separate from the official Sony movie. By the way, I didn't know this. They got fucking Spider-Man, Tom Holland. He's gonna be a young Nathan Drake. Like, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
It's like, don't you have him in enough movies already? Does
Yeah.
he need to?
I kind of like I understand some people are like, oh, Nathan Fillion is too old to play Nathan Drake. Yeah, in his prime, but he could play an older Nathan Drake,
Which he was playing the older Nathan Drake.
Yeah,
he was wearing the blue shirt and everything.
Fucking awesome, man. So yeah, for you guys who saw, what do you think, man? I thought it was brilliant.
I thought it was cool. Like he did all the little. They even put some of his moves in there. The little punches, and he even said "Kitty got wet" at one point. And then there's also the like he does those little sections where he walks into a room. It's like, oh, wait a minute, Sully, on the other side of the world there is the Chintamani stones, and the Chintamani stones connect to the blah blah blah. Like he does those little information dumps.
Yeah, and the game, like, for a little bit, even took on the third person mode and stuff, and he's like shooting and all that. That was pretty fun. Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun, man. The girl who plays Elena, I don't know where she's from, but she was pretty good too. I did like Stephen Lang, but I felt he wasn't like he was
surly enough.
He wasn't surly enough, and he looked too, for the lack of a better term, he looked too actiony to me. You know what I mean? Like, that guy looked like he could fuck everybody up. Like Sully.
Yeah, Stephen Lang is just incredibly strong and stuff. So it's like it's hard for him to just. But then again, if you think about it, Sully does need to be in shape because he does all the same damn things.
Yeah, I understand.
Parkour and stuff.
I guess I should say Sully, even though I know he doesn't seem very dangerous to me. This guy looked fucking scary, But then again, I've seen Avatar. That's why I'm like, So anyway, go ahead.
Sully's a Sean Connery type.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a smooth talker who'll fuck your shit up.
Yeah, but this guy just looked like he'll just fuck your shit up. And I don't know what the budget was, but it looked pretty good. It looked,
it was a modest budget. I mean, the thing is that, like, getting it probably was maybe a day or two of filming. You notice that most of the brunt of it was that little interrogation sequence in the beginning, and then little bits of action here or there. So, I mean, come on, you could definitely do. I mean, I know that they probably don't want to get a Nathan Fillion in there because they don't think he can hold an audience. But I definitely think they should just think about using him. It doesn't matter if he's playing old fucking Drake. Who cares?
I don't think they're going to use him, but they said they may do a miniseries, which I'll take that. I'll take that.
Well, then that means that whoever's making the actual Uncharted movie has a lot to live up to because these guys figured it out.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, man.
Can I just say, poor Nathan Fillion? He spent most of his career not getting the roles that he would be perfect for, and then the rest, the end of his career is, oh, he'd be perfect. He's just a little too old.
That's a good point. Yeah, because this is like he didn't have to act like Nathan Drake. He just needed to act like himself, and it worked.
Yeah. He looks so much like him. It's crazy.
It's kind of like with Ryan Reynolds. Like, he doesn't need to ham it up to be Deadpool. He's just acting like himself. It's crazy.
He's Van Wilder in a mask.
Basically, that Deadpool is murder Van Wilder.
What was it they said? Deadpool showed up his own honest movie trailer and gave himself what he called himself, Van Even Wilder.
Yeah, that's perfect. Oh man. Okay, a couple of random things I'm looking at the comment here. Jordan wants to know if we saw the Spyro Reignited Trilogy gameplay trailer. I did not see it, but I'm going to be honest. Manny, you hold on. I've never been a fan of this series, so I don't care.
I've seen it. It looks good. They did a nice job of redesigning a bunch of stuff. So I mean, yeah, go for it.
Is this a Crash Bandicoot type of remake or remaster or whatever?
Yeah, it is. They literally just like, pretty much all the levels are the same with redesigns that made sort of sense. Like they kind of added cinematics and stuff, but to be honest, it's pretty much just a total remake, remake and little bit of reimagining of the original game.
Yeah. By the way, Mighty Nerd, he's right. That's the word I'm looking for. He says that Stephen Lang doesn't have that father figure type of presence that Sully does in the game,
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, like he looks like he'll snap your fucking neck just by looking at him funny. It's like, what the fuck? And he was also in that show with the dinosaurs. Your boy is watching that show. I watched the whole season. See what else is going on here. I think that's
No, what about the Ghost Recon Wildlands update that's coming?
What's going on with that?
That's this week. That's including permadeath. It's bringing permadeath. It's giving the ability to disable your AI partners. Friendly fire is being added. So that's coming on the 24th for people with season pass and the 31st for people that don't have the season pass.
So essentially, they're turning it into what it originally was, right?
No.
Didn't Ghost Recon already have permadeath?
No, not the original one. No, it never had permadeath. It never had that. But it had where you were by yourself. The original Ghost Recon, there was missions where you would go solo. Like you had your group, but then within the game, I'm like, all right, you got to go solo on this. And there was times in the game, because there's times in the game where if you're trying to be sneaky, your guys are with you, and they may get detected. And it's like, oh, and then they engage. So most of the time I would have to press the option to hold back and then keep them away while I go and I do the sneak. So that's pretty cool. The fact you can just turn off the AI guys and they just disappear. But the permadeath, man, that mode is going to be crazy if people do that. Because, I mean, yeah, one life. That's it. You're dead. So,
Battle Royale.
Yeah, Battle Royale. Well, that's what everybody was waiting for, and that hasn't been announced for yet. And a few maps for the PvP, but yeah, everyone's waiting for that Battle Royale mode, and they think it's still going to come. You know, they're still supporting it. You know, we still got this new DLC and all the stuff coming out for it. So, who knows? You know.
Yeah. Jordan says, wouldn't it be nice if there was a new Twisted Metal? They had a new Twisted Metal last gen, and nobody bought it.
Nobody bought it.
You know.
And David Jaffe directed it.
Yeah, he did. You know. Yeah. Let's see what. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put some of you guys on the spot right now. Just for fun, is there any random gaming thing you want to bring up before we end the show?
Did you? Well, this thing just kind of popped. Had been kind of making the rounds, even though it was something that was figured out last year. So you remember Aliens Colonial Marines?
No, I never heard of it.
Unfortunately.
Oh yeah, the group that did that found the bug, right?
Yes.
By the way, Manny, before you go on, I love the fact that we bring up this game every other episode. It's hilarious. Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, apparently a lot of the guys who've been kind of fucking around the games, apparently they found out that there was a spelling error in one of the games, which affects
one of the INI files. Yep.
Yes, it affects how the aliens AI works in the game.
What?
So you change this one letter in there to match another thing, and then it instantly changes the way the aliens react. So as opposed to them just kind of standing around like a bunch of dopes, they're actually a little bit more aggressive and they do more tactics to try to get you.
A spelling error caused that?
Yes.
It's spelling error.
That's crazy, man.
So yeah, their pathfinding, it affected their pathfinding and the way they kind of flank you and all kinds of other things. Yeah. So yeah, that one bit of code that they switched up.
Wow. Jeez, imagine like if they
and they just found that shit.
They found it last year, but it's making the rounds right now. Somebody, somebody wrote I guess a hacker or whatever wrote it a while ago, and then now it's making the rounds. It's like, holy shit, yeah, just change that.
People doing comparison videos and stuff showing the difference.
Yeah.
See, Mighty Nerd, I don't like that. He bought Twisted Metal. Actually, a lot of guys in the chat seem to have bought the PS3 version of Twisted Metal. He said it had glitched online trophies. Nah, can't be having that, son. Fuck no.
So he's like, no.
Actually, I'll toss my hat in here. Apparently, physical copies of Octopath Traveler are hard to come by. I guess Nintendo didn't print enough of these or something.
They probably figured that
Square said it was sorry. Wasn't it Square?
Yeah, it's Square. My bad. It's Square. Because the game is selling fairly well, and motherfuckers can't buy a copy now. It's crazy.
Did they say forgiveness, please?
Forgiveness, please.
Please.
Yeah, I'm playing the game. I'm fucking loving it.
I thought you were like, man, this game is too long. It's got too much shit. What happened? What happened to that?
The gameplay. That's what happened. But I am going to take my sweet time with it because it's 8 characters, 8 separate stories. So I'm just doing it one piece. I'm playing pretty much like an hour a day or something like that. And that's a good thing, I guess, because the game is remember, it's on Switch, portable, right? Every chapter is about an hour, And I think I don't know how many chapters are per character, but you have 8 characters, bunch of, missions. So it's a good amount of content. But I do like the fact you can get in there pretty quick, but the game is fun, man. Right now I got all the 8 characters, so now I'm going to do the second chapters of each. That's what I'm trying to do. And the game also has recommended levels, so I'm trying to get to the recommended levels before I move on. I'm like a couple levels underneath, but it's pretty good. But yeah, I just found that funny that you can't buy a physical copy of the game. Carlos, did you get yours, man?
Hell yeah.
My man, my man. By the way,
Okay, that's quite odd because I just went on Amazon UK and not only is it the best seller, it's also available in physical and digital.
I think it was a North American
I
one,
think
though.
it's a North American. Hey, get the English
You
version
actually
then.
sort
people.
yourself out.
Yeah. What happened, Brian?
Sort yourselves out.
Yeah. Right? Shit, man. Man, don't get me started on that.
You should know we're not able to do that, Brian. This shouldn't be a surprise to you.
I think we need the monarchy back here, man.
We're
Go on
still trying to
Alibaba.
we're still trying to
Everything.
figure out how we leave the EU, so we're not much better off.
Yeah, man. We're gonna talk about that off air, obviously.
Here's a fun thing, like with that. One time when I bought a friend the recent Doom game for Xbox, so I had it sent to his house, and they actually sent the European version of it. But not the American one. I mean, obviously it's the same game, but it's interesting that they sent that version over.
Yeah, that's what happened to me last year with Yakuza 0. They sent me the English version. It still worked and everything, which is interesting. But it kind of fucking, I'm like, Peggy? What the fuck is this shit? Yeah. Peg, remember that from Married with Children, man? No pig.
Oh, speaking of that, did you guys watch? I don't know if anyone here ever watched Sons of Anarchy. Did you ever watch that series? It
was on.
Yeah.
With the Viking.
Yeah, she was in it. She was in it. Yeah, Peggy was in it.
Well, they have a spin-off that's coming in September, and it's about the Mayans. That was the Mexican biker gang that was part of it, and it's called the Mayans MC.
That's not game related.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, is that a game?
No,
bro?
but it's related to Peggy and all that stuff.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, so there you go. I'll accept that. All right. Yeah. Anybody else want to throw in some random stuff in there at the end? Brett, anything you want to add?
I have something to add.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh shit.
Microsoft said that they're gonna.
Damn.
No, don't go, Brett. No, go. Too soon.
Oh man!
It's like, as soon as you said Microsoft, Brett started just coughing like a maniac. Are you okay, Brett?
Sorry, I can't not aspirate my goddamn Red Bull.
Damn. All
I
right.
thought I hit my mute button, so I thought it was free to go loose.
All right, go ahead, Carlos. Microsoft.
Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Damn.
Microsoft. So Microsoft announced that they're gonna announce all new Xbox hardware and accessories.
More controllers.
So everyone lost their minds when they said hardware. So they're like, oh shit, are they gonna announce the new Xbox and shit? But they updated that shit and they said, so they changed from that to new Xbox bundles and accessories.
Yeah, keyboard and mouse is coming. That's what everybody wants. It's coming
Yes.
with keyboard and mouse support for PUBG.
So for those that got overly excited about a new Xbox, gotta wait.
Wait, what the hell is what's going on here? These guys are having a conversation. Bro, okay, check this out. He goes, bring back Def Jam, and Dr. Evil says he goes, they would bring it back. The problem is that they would put the Migos in it and Lil Xan and all the mumble rappers out of fear of a new generation don't know Method Man and Redman and DMX. That's a good point.
Yeah. Well, it's also the fight mechanics. Akai no longer makes those type of games. So then they wouldn't be able to put that fight mechanic, because if they were to bring back Def Jam Icon, which was horrible, nobody wants that. They want the Fight for New York. They want Vendetta. That was a badass one. But yeah, to his point, yeah, they wouldn't use the rappers that we know. They'll use all these
Lil Uzi in the new Def Jam.
Yeah. Okay, but none of those new rappers are like any kind of badass. Is the thing.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
Well, they're all
what about Joey Badass?
They wouldn't even fight.
Yeah,
So.
what about Joey Badass? It's in the name, Badass.
Yeah, well, it's in the name because he's not.
Oh man! By the way, that's same way I feel about NBA Jam. Whenever they bring it back, I'm like, man, that's not the roster I remember, But they're not going to do that.
No, they're gonna put everybody from now.
Yeah, they got LeBron James.
Well, if you want to play the roster that you remember, you're gonna have to get the NBA Live 19, because it's gonna have all those old throwbacks.
No, but I want the NBA Jam I remember with Scottie Pippen and shit,
Scottie
Pippen,
The
Michael Jordan,
that dream team right there, the Chicago Bulls.
Patrick Ewing.
What?
Those were the days.
Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy
Like
Bogues,
5'4",
my man. You know,
dunking and everything.
Xavier
That's crazy.
McDaniels.
Xavier McDaniels, Anthony
Oh,
Hardaway. You know,
When does
Patrick Ewing.
Patrick
When
Ewing. Yeah, go ahead.
when does the new GTA update come out?
It came
talking
out
about
already.
it in chat.
Actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
It came
coming out.
out.
It came out right now.
Yeah. That's the clubs.
Wait, Clubs is out? It wasn't
Yeah,
out
it's
yesterday.
No, it's at the 24th.
Yeah, 24th comes out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah,
The
next Tuesday.
clubs.
Yeah. Chris and I actually jumped on last night. We're starting to make some money. Get your money right for Clubs, y'all.
That's it. No, I logged in the other day just to get that bonus money. You know, the login, sign in bonus money because I'm getting ready.
7/24. That means we're gonna be streaming GTA again, people. Let's go.
Get those clubs.
By the
It's got
way,
real music, real DJs.
Now, do we know?
Yeah, go
Do
ahead.
we know what these clubs actually do? Like, I'm vamping, and we're talking about video games, so it's fine.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about this GTA update. Have we actually gotten any news other than because it was rumored to be clubs? Now we know it's clubs. Do we know what these fucking clubs do yet?
It's gonna be just like the MC and the bunker and all that stuff. There's gonna be things linked to it. So I'm sure it's gonna be same thing about like you're just monetizing it, whatever you're
Hold
selling.
the
service it.
phone. Jordan
Bullshit.
Dizzle says, I need to get GTA 5. There you go. There's a person that hasn't bought it yet.
So
What?
Whoa.
We found one.
Oh, he said for PS4.
Except for PS4.
Mm.
Double dipper.
And
Double dipper.
Brett, apparently they released a trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
they
short one.
the guy from the GTA 4.
What's good? Gay Tony.
Yeah, he's the
The
night
Valve Gear Tony? Oh my god. Okay, I was reading the rumors about this last night. There wasn't any actual news about this yesterday.
Yeah, the trailer dropped today.
Yeah. But they've been talking about this for a long time, and a lot of people thought it just wasn't gonna happen. They're like, they just not doing it. And then poof, here it is. More new
There
content
it is.
showing up.
Yo, I had that song stuck in my head yesterday, man. I don't know why. You know,
Don't watch any basketball games because they play that shit all the time still.
I'm playing Octopath Traveler, and I had this song stuck in my head. Ooh, there it is, and I had the video stuck in my head too. Remember that shit? Shakalaka, shakalaka, boom.
Well, yesterday I woke up singing OPP.
Oh
Don't
man,
know
bring it back. Yeah, man, that happens to me
by
too.
nature. I have no clue why.
Because I hate you. You know. Man, those were the good old days, man. Bring that shit back. Imagine those guys in Def Jam Vendetta. Nobody would know who the fuck they are. These young kids.
Yeah.
Yo, man, he ain't Waka Flocka.
See, no, well, I wonder if that's the thing. Because, in rock, you sort of have to know the history of classic rock. You know what I mean? We know the greats that are out there. Is that something that's in the hip-hop
Yeah, we're not going to get into that, but that is a conversation I've had many times, and I remember back, not to derail it too much, but we're about to end this anyway. I remember back in the early 2000s saying, hey, it looks like hip-hop is finally starting to have a legacy. That never came to be. That never came to be. Nobody listens to anything that came out more than a year ago.
Because that's the thing. Like, I don't know if you guys have it now, because I know in New York they didn't have it, but I always felt like, man, it would be perfect if they just had a classic hip hop channel. They had a classic rock channel. They could have a classic hip hop play with DMT, Tribe Called Quest, Brand Nubian, all the old shit.
Yeah, it's again, it's a difference of I don't understand. It's like basically rock people appreciate listening to the classic stuff, right? The foundational stuff. Rap guys don't really care about anything that's like more than a week old. It's very
that's because rock and roll has died as a genre.
No, but
this goes back further. This goes back.
This goes back further. This has been going on for decades.
Yeah, man. And then like in the 90s, I feel like it's when it's got like really crazy, where it's like there'd be 1 minute everybody's singing a song, and then the next week you'd be like, "Yo, what happened to that song?" They'd be like, "That shit is old."
Yeah,
it's
rock played out.
Rock and roll was.
Where's 50 Cent? Remember 50 Cent was all over the place, all his tracks, and then it's like poof.
Rock and roll's been shit since the friggin' 90s.
No, but it was still profitable. It was profitable up until like the mid 2000s. It was still one of the biggest genres out there. But my point is there's no legacy by the way, I'm sorry, guys, we got way off track, but there's no legacy when it comes to like hip hop that I'm noticing.
No, hold on. You got to make the distinction. There is a ton of legacy in hip hop.
There is a ton of legacy in rap.
There is, but
catering to it.
Talk to
any. Let me finish.
No, let me finish. Talk to any guy that listens to rap hip hop right now. They're gonna be like, I don't know what the fuck that is. That shit is played out.
Okay, stop it.
Yeah.
Rap is not hip hop, motherfucker, and you should know this.
Oh, no. Listen, I'm from New York. I know the difference. Okay, so
rap well then let's make.
Yeah. Rap is
man, that's where it was created.
Yeah, rap is the style. Hip hop is the lifestyle.
Because they don't know.
Huh?
Don't talk down to people just because they don't know. We got to make the distinction.
I'm not talking down. I'm telling you what it is, bro. Not talking down. It's just a fact.
Okay, so hip hop maintains its legacy. Rap does not. Then that's, I think, an important distinction to make.
I'm not getting into that. There's a difference, dude.
The whole point
is the culture. Rap is just the style.
That's it.
You know.
The whole point is that they don't have a channel. It hasn't been catered to yet, and I don't understand why. Because there is a legacy there.
Yeah, there's a huge legacy, but nobody wants to listen to that.
Years ago.
I agree with you. No, there is. Okay, just to clarify, there is a legacy, but guys that are out now, the younger cats, do not give a fuck. If it's older than a week, they don't care. You know, they don't care.
Something
I'll tell you this. I have a friend, a friend of mine that works with Run DMC. Now he's literally doing a Run DMC comic, right? And there are kids that don't know who Run DMC are.
Oh yeah,
that's how bad it is.
Yes.
Yeah, but
there's people who don't know who the Kinks are either.
Yeah, but if they're serious fans, they know who the Kinks are. They know who Led Zeppelin is.
Yeah, well, if they're serious fans, they know who Run DMC is.
I have young people who know who Aesop Rock is. I have young people.
Well, they know who LP is, and a lot of people didn't know.
But Aesop Rock is still doing shit.
He's still doing shit. Yeah, Labor Day.
Dude, I still have a lot of younger people. Like I still hear Atmosphere bumped all the fucking time.
Like for example, I'm a new hip hop head, but I know who Run DMC is. They were doing shit before I was even born.
Yeah, but I think
But you're the exception, though, bro. Carlos, when you get into something, you really get into it. You know.
Yeah.
You don't do surface level shit. You know.
Yeah, Carlos, we are like the exception here. So I think again, like most people that I talk to, they don't seem to know about like stuff older than like the mid-90s. It's really weird.
I agree. Like people who are barely getting into hip hop, like if someone's been like listening to rap for, let's say, more than a decade, I think they'll know who Run DMC is. At least know who they are. Maybe not.
I was going to say, like, do they listen to it? It's the other thing.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
Like for me, like I listen to metal, but I listen to the new stuff and the old stuff. I intermix it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like and again, we've been talking about this, man, you and I, for like 20 years. You know, it's like, hey, how come these guys aren't like paying attention to the older stuff from the 80s? You know.
Also, something else I want to mention is sort of rap music is sort of it's kind of like history. You know, like obviously it's history, but it's kind of a tale of its own time. Because it's sort of
topical is the word you're looking for.
Exactly, it's topical to the time, right? So a lot of people don't really like fuck the police. Like that might have some relevancy.
It works now.
Yeah.
Damn. By the way, I think you're onto something here, Carlos. You know, it's like if you're listening to like Iron Maiden, they're singing songs about fucking Passchendaele. That shit's still gonna be relevant. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you're singing about like the race riots, or it may not work tomorrow. Man, you know,
we went through a phase post 90s NWA where rap took a really weird turn, and it wasn't necessarily it wasn't very macroscopic in view. It was telling a lot of topical stories about the person and who they're running with and all that kind of shit. And hip hop has since kind of evolved out of that, I want to say, a little bit.
Well, I mean, hip hop is the that type of culture, and I thought it was funny when I was a kid, but then you kind of get sick of it. It's like, I got money and bitches. Like, okay, that's cool. I remember when rap was fun, like in the 80s and stuff.
Well, that was all Tribe Called Quest. That was Leader of the New School.
Yeah.
Like
Humpty.
There's still two schools of that, right? Like you
Fat
have
Boys,
your you have your NWA branch, and then you have and that's what a lot of people like make the distinction between hip hop and rap. Like I understand technically like one's about the culture, but like there are two different kinds of music in this genre, and one of them
actually three if you count underground.
That's true. But the Tribe Called Quest stuff, they really pay attention to where their music came from, and the people who listen to that shit, they know about the old school. It's the NWA branch, they don't. And honestly, I think that's partially about like, because it's more about self-inflating than like there's not any legacy or history or respect in those songs. It's all about me, the person, telling my story. And you know, the area that I grew up in, but it's not necessarily a whole lot of nodding towards the people that came before you, at least not at first.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's like kind of like metal. Like metal has a whole bunch of genres within itself. Like rap is the same way. There's mumble rappers, there's conscious rappers, there's gangster rappers, there's like all these different types of things, you know.
The internet.
Yeah, and there's the nerd rappers who rap about fucking Goku and shit. So like. It's like a whole bunch of people, and like not even like obviously the most popular ones are the ones that make sort of the hits, you know. They don't really talk about anything. They just make catchy tunes and sell that shit, you know.
I want a genre called rap, which is WRAP rap. You know, just talking about rapping shit. It'll be awesome. All right, man. By the way, you guys got a little bit of a taste of the type of crap we talk about before and after the show. Although we get really spicy, but you know, we're not going to do that right now. But I will say this though, quickly. Fuck that Teen Titans trailer, man. Fuck that shit. Oh, it's so good to say that. I couldn't say that on Twitter because I didn't want those stands coming after me. You know, there's a line in there. Yeah, Robin's like, oh, fuck Batman. I'm like, fuck this show. That's what I say. You know, stupid piece of shit.
Okay, I'm interested about this. Why all the hate?
Because it's bullshit. Like, Robin is killing motherfuckers? Really? You lost me right there. You know, you lost me right.
People? I don't think Robin's killing people in a kids movie.
Not the kids movie,
not the kids movie, dude.
No, it's not.
We're talking.
The live action. Oh yeah, no, fuck that noise straight up and down. I'm more okay with the Teen Titans Go movie than that shit.
And my thing is like, okay, you have Jason Todd or Damien who kill people. No, they're not going to use him. We're going to use Dick Grayson. He's killing people. What? Really? And this Raven's like, oh, I don't know who my father is. She knows who fucking Trigon is.
Oh my god!
And my favorite part, Starfire shooting fire. She doesn't shoot fire.
She does now.
Like, did these motherfuckers even read a comic book? Really?
I was actually thinking about this. Try this thought on for size. Whether or not you like Teen Titans Go, that is probably going to be the best DC movie in years.
Jesus, that's sad. Because it's true. Oh, by the way, Jordan, why isn't Cyborg not in there? Because they couldn't afford it. You see how cheap that shit looked? They can afford Cyborg with all that CG shit, you know?
Right, can I just jump in really quickly? Technically, does Lego Batman count?
Lego Batman was good. All right, you got me
very
there.
good. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. All right.
Okay, but I love that their spin-off kind of comedic, lighthearted movies are just going to be trouncing their actual I Tried Hard movies.
But this thing's like behind it, like a pay gate or something like that, isn't it? It's like a CW.
Oh, they're
Apple.
streaming.
Yeah, streaming.
The streaming. Yeah. They're doing the Star Trek Discovery and all access bullshit.
I don't think anyone's gonna be purchasing that shit for this show. It's fucking trash.
I don't even know how you get so far off on your character design. I mean, Manny, you've done character concept shit before. Like, would you turn that shit in? Like, if somebody were like, "Hey, we need the Teen Titans," would you have turned that shit in? I'm just curious.
Which one?
Depends how much money they gave them.
No, the current Titans design. The one in the live action show.
The live action. Here's the thing, like, you know, a lot of that stuff is form fits the function. Like, what can we do on the budget that we have?
Yeah.
What can we do?
Yeah, but look at Flash and Arrow. You tell me they don't have that same budget?
Oh well, they do. They don't. Yeah, they do have that same sort of budget. But I think at the same time, it's like, you know, there's also, you have to deal with the directors wanting to make their own stamp on something. It's like, okay, why would you change something that's already well enough? It's like, well, because a lot of times there's ego behind it, where they're just like, you know what, we're going to do something new. We're not doing the comic book. We're doing our version.
There it is. It's the fucking goddamn Superman 2 giant spider.
It's the giant spider. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that is that. It's like, yeah, we're just like the you know, somebody in their, in productions, or the other guys are like, hey, I wanted to do something different. It's something is almost as selfish as that.
All right, I got to tell the story real quick in case any of y'all haven't heard it. Y'all in here, y'all know who the spider I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, let's just make sure it doesn't go over 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I'm just real. Kevin Smith wanted to make a Superman movie, and then the Superman movie.
Yeah, the Spider-Man, and that ended up in Wild Wild West.
Yeah. So, short version for out there who don't know, what was he, executive producer? He wanted to put a giant spider in the end of Superman for no apparent fucking reason. And I got shot down like 4 times. Next movie he worked on was Wild Wild West, which finished with a giant fucking spider. These people will just shove their douchebag ideas into anything that doesn't fit.
That's the way it goes.
The Nick Cage Superman, for you guys who don't know, that's what he's talking about. Death of Superman. Jesus. All right, man. So let's wrap this shit up here. So thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Mixer, Twitter, Periscope, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. Tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch.
Seriously, fuck you, No Man's Sky.
Adam Vale.
See you guys tomorrow on WrestleCast. Watch that Lucha Underground, man. They're killing people. Look, I'm telling you, go on YouTube, people. Go on Lucha Underground. Season 4, Episode 5. They killed a shitload of wrestlers. They just killing these people. All blood everywhere. It's pretty bad.
And Brian Manjoma.
I'm making a prediction live on air that Spider-Man will have some DLC or content involving Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales Spider-Man.
I'm going to agree on this. All right, guys. We'll see you on Sunday, man. Later.
Later, guys.
Peace. Later.